ahead and get started. This is the Facilities Committee meeting for February 7th. Mr. Strobel couldn't be here today, so I'm Julia Olson. He asked me to chair the meeting today. On this committee, we got Mr. Jurek, Mr. Scott, Ms. Thompson. We have Mr. Kubala. Is that right? Okay. And Dr. Cooper and Mr. Hurley here in attendance. And okay, so we're going to just jump right in with the update on the HVAC system of the district.
We've had quite a few HVAC issues across the district. Right now, we currently still have 2 classrooms that do not currently have heat, but we have made accommodations so that those classrooms are relocated for the meantime until we can get those units replaced. One being in the high school, classroom 232, the other being in the middle school, classroom 220. Both of those are critical component failures, and due to the age and condition of the equipment, we are left with no choice but to replace those units. We are currently in the process of receiving quotes for replacement, and I am doing my due diligence with the contractors, going back and forth, trying to negotiate the best price. So we will have an answer on that shortly. In addition to those, we've had an issue with the high school wrestling room. We've had energy management control issues with the equipment. We placed a service call to Train. They have diagnosed the issue with the unit. They have to order a new computer board, so it's going to take some time to get that, but that will be repaired shortly. We installed a boiler at the high school. We were in a pretty dire situation with our heating loop, and we couldn't effectively keep the heating loop temperature and the domestic water loop temperature at standard operating temperatures. So due to the amount of equipment that was broken and beyond repairs. So we successfully had the boiler installed. We are back to 100% capacity. The heating loop temperatures and the domestic water temperatures have been restored to the normal operating temperatures. This is part of the process. We're working with Berkshire Mechanical to upgrade the efficiency of our heating and domestic hot water loops. We are working towards putting a plan together to replace remaining antiquated equipment and enhance the reliability of the water source heating components at the high school. Middle school had a tough month. They had quite a few mechanical breakdowns. These are normal breakdowns and components that fail over time. The middle school had a 3-way valve and actuator that broke, which was associated with the heating loop. So we suffered on those really cold days, we had some cooler temperatures in the building, but we were quick to replace those components, and knock on wood, we're good to go. There was no other ancillary issues there. The middle school also has a few rooftop units that are actually heat pumps, and they have critical component failures with the compressors that operate them. These compressors are required both in heating and cooling modes. So we just received proposals to replace them from Berkshire Mechanical. We're going to go through with that. Halter Maintenance has been doing a stellar job with performing preventative maintenance on all of our HVAC equipment. They've been keeping up with filter changes, belt replacements, greasing bearings, replacing failed motors. They're doing the best that they absolutely can to keep up with it, and I commend them for it. I will be meeting with Berkshire Mechanical and Train to discuss creating a priority list for further repairs to equipment and the replacement of equipment to ensure that we're meeting adequate ventilation and temperature controls within the district. So we're going to start to lay some groundwork, hopefully to start this summer and aggressively moving forward.
Okay.
I tried to highlight the key points.
No,
on it.
it's fine.
If anyone has any questions, I mean, feel free to ask.
So we have one. Start at the beginning. The two. So the two rooms that currently don't have heat. The middle school. The one at the middle school. I mean, the middle school is only 20 years old. You know, I mean, you said we're at the end of life of some of the equipment there.
Not necessarily the middle school,
Oh, okay.
just in general, across the district, I know.
Okay. Wrestling room. Is that the room that has all of our new equipment in it?
The mats?
No.
Those mats were put in there, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
No. I mean, that's not the room that has all of the
fitness?
the weight room,
No.
fitness stuff. Okay. The new boiler for the high school. That's hot water. That's hot water boiler only, right? So okay. And again, the middle school the stuff that needed to be replaced at the middle school. I was just surprised to hear that there was a lot going on at the middle school, just because the building's only been there since 2003.
I mean,
Unless that's the end of life, is like 20 years, so everything's dying at the same time.
End of life varies. These are, the repairs that we're making now are just normal
Got it.
component failures and breakdowns, kind of like maintenance on a car.
All right, and I know that when you were talking about replacing things like belts and the smaller components, I know that if you want to order something right now, it sometimes takes longer. So do we have an inventory of stuff, or are we kind of running out?
Yes.
Both things.
We have an excellent inventory
Okay.
and availability for general preventative maintenance.
Got it.
Parts. When you get into troubleshooting some of these units, some of the components vary and are manufacturer specific at times, which
Okay.
can lead to greater lead times if you have to replace those components.
All right, and so the repair and replacement priorities, are we trying to look for with Berkshire Mechanical and Train? Are we looking at maybe not all in stone, but kind of map out what we're going to do for the next 3 years, next 5 years, or just see what
For
we
the
can
next
manage?
few years,
Okay,
yeah, like what is our immediate priority right now?
got it. Okay,
And especially with the COVID concerns, we want to make sure we're doing everything and staying on top of our air exchange with bringing fresh air into the building and making sure we have the adequate ventilation.
right. Okay, yep. And before we move on, anybody else have any questions about the HVAC stuff? Some of this might be remedial because I don't always sit, listen as closely during this. I don't usually sit on this committee, so that might have been old hat for everybody else. So sorry about that. Library restoration.
Yes, so for those who don't know, we contracted with Restore Corps, who is a full-service restoration company, which was recommended by our insurance adjuster. They started work on Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. They began packing all of the library contents up into boxes and labeling the boxes in conjunction with some of the direction from Diane Schuler, the librarian. So she was very helpful. They were able to so far they were able to pack the contents, label everything. They moved all the furniture out of the way, and they have dismantled all of the library shelving. So they've really exposed the whole perimeter walls and any carpet that was left underneath of the shelves, and they're going to continue to move forward. In regards to the mechanical issues in the library, Berkshire Mechanical performed the work necessary to ensure that this isn't going to happen again. They replaced the PVC piping and the components with copper piping. They created an overflow pan underneath of the two HVAC units, and they are obviously water source units. So the pan is going to keep it from overflowing down into the library. They installed water sensors into that pan. In the event that they detect water, it's electronically controlled and it'll automatically close the water valves if a leak were detected. So we have a little bit better protection moving forward in case another issue arises.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about the library project? Okay. Moving on. Safety issues?
Yeah, so life safety, we've been following up and addressing recommendations based on a report from our insurance company, CM Region. We had made some bleacher repairs, notably at the middle school. We had a lot of seats damaged from sports activities, so we wanted to get those immediate concerns addressed. We did have a bleacher inspection report that was conducted over the summer. Minor bleacher repairs are being addressed by Halter Maintenance. Also, on the insurance report, we addressed a potential head entrapment issue on the playground equipment at the intermediate center. We removed the panel that was the questionable head entrapment concern. We've also addressed some sharp edges from loose rivets on handrails on the playground equipment, so that a kid can't grab the handle and cut themselves with a loose rivet. We will be replacing chains and belts on the swings over the summer. We are also in the middle of coordinating an inspection of the high school auditorium rigging system. I cannot find any documentation on that as to when that was last inspected, but center stage lighting and rigging will be performing the inspection in the middle of February. Still following up with fire alarm inspection company regarding inspection of backflow preventers and kitchen exhaust hood cleaning and inspections that did not get completed over the summer. This is on their radar. I've talked to them multiple times now. We're just having scheduling issues due to school being in session, so we just have to pick the appropriate timing to get this accomplished. In regards to the fire alarm systems across the district, we have been making necessary repairs that we've encountered mechanical issues with as well. We've replaced numerous devices, along with we've discovered some damaged wiring, we've repaired phone lines, and critical components that have failed. We still have a few open troubles, but the systems are fully operational as they stand right now. We're just waiting on a few parts to come in so we can be 100% moving forward. Any questions in regards to that?
That sounds like a lot. And I'm just, I'm wondering if that your budget this year is going to be able to handle all of that.
Some of that, some of the improvements that we are currently looking at, we're trying to work into next year's budget.
I got you.
We can
Okay.
accomplish over the summer as well.
Okay. Okay, anybody else have any questions? All right. Retaining wall.
Retaining wall, yes. The retaining walls at the intermediate center. The brick capping on the retaining walls is failing. Water is infiltrating the grout, and it's entering the wall sections because there's no flashing there protecting from getting under there. So Steve Biggerstaff had arranged a consultation with Boyer Engineering back in September. The report has now become available and is complete with the recommendations to replace the capping bricks with stone wall caps with the addition of a flashing system to prevent this from happening again. And Boyer Engineering is currently working on creating a bid specification so we can put the project out to bid. And with that, he will try to give us a ballpark project cost associated with the repairs.
Was that prepared early in the 2021-22 school year or early in 2021? The report, I'm sorry, the report with the recommendations.
I just received the report.
Okay.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so we received it during the school year.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right, moving on to transportation.
Transportation. The district has been preparing an RFP for transportation services. It will be put out to the public within the next week or so. Transportation has encountered a lot of behavioral issues on the buses, and the district has been working collaboratively with our building administrations and with the transportation providers to help alleviate these issues as they arise. Certainly kids will be kids. We're having a lot of masking issues and just general behavior of the kids, not staying seated in the bus, their verbiage towards bus drivers. The bus drivers have really been getting abused, and us in the transportation department, we're working towards, getting more involved and actually speaking to the kids with the building administration and reassigning seating charts if we have to try to separate some of the kids. And it's just a joint effort, and it really has been a struggle. Everyone here, I'm sure will agree, but you guys have been doing an excellent job. And not just with the behavior, and it even goes to keeping up with the demands of the district and making last-minute transportation changes to accommodate our taxpayers. So you guys are doing a good job.
Any questions on transportation?
Well, I'd actually like to speak to that.
Okay.
I'm not even supposed to be here, but I think that comes back to what I've said for the last 5 years, is that I'm not interested in people telling me that that's the only way they're taking it to school. It has to be, it's a privilege to ride a bus.
Yes.
It is. I was on the school bus for TSA on Saturday, and those kids, there was not an issue. It was not an issue. But I've been on regular school buses, and that is a scary, scary place to put your kid.
Do they not get kicked off the bus anymore?
No, because then they don't come to school, and then we have to go track them down, and then it's everybody else's fault. But the problem is that it has to be a warning, and then you're done. You're off. Enough. No one should be allowed to speak to those bus drivers the way that they are being spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
It is horrific.
Right.
And that is,
Absolutely.
you can tell me all day long that, but we need them to come to school. I don't care how they get to school. You don't.
Isn't that the responsibility of the parents? Or can they get...
Right, but then they'll
truancy?
say, because we have to have them in school a certain amount of days, blah, 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 because, yeah. So then the parents just won't bring them to school, but that's not,
The parents get fined, right?
probably not, because they'll claim a hardship. It'll be a problem.
How many warnings do we give the kids now?
Too many,
Well, that's, okay, I'm just asking.
too many.
What's too many? Is it two or is it
Well,
one?
Supposed to be 3.
Okay. Hey, we're-
Now, and now,
When you get to 3, they're still on the bus.
Yeah, we're at the point now where we are trying to pull data based on bus write-ups.
From before?
Yeah, just recently, and that way we can start addressing those students and
Okay.
potentially removing them from the bus if need be.
All right.
Or chronic offenders.
Yeah, I know, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I remember getting, I noticed that my kid had gotten written up on the bus. I read my kid the Riot Act, and I'm like, I never want to hear that happen again. I know that everybody's got a different parenting style, but, I would hope that would be the way it is in most homes.
one of the problems is, if I may speak,
Go right ahead.
we got to prove it. If the
I
driver
know.
writes them up, then it's like a quarter off. Our word means nothing. We got to.
There is video, right? I know there's no sound on it. I know there's no sound on it.
We
Oh, there is.
video and there's sound. But the sound doesn't.
It doesn't tell you which kid it is, and maybe doesn't pick up
Right.
everything.
So we do the best we can. But
Sure.
I'm sorry, our driver's word means nothing.
And as far as the video, whatever the kid is doing, he's not gonna have it in the air.
Yes, yes.
Doing it where the camera's gonna pick him up.
No,
So
that's what I mean,
We
yeah.
can look at that video till the cows come home.
And it might not be very helpful.
Yeah, we have a lot of countless hours
Yeah.
between write-ups, video footage, phone calls with parents. It really adds up. I mean, you guys are doing a very good job of keeping up with it.
How many cameras do you have? Do you have two or one?
There's two in the buses.
Front and the
inside.
back?
It's in front and then mid-span. The front one camera gets probably the first 4 seats,
Yeah.
and then the camera above the 4th or 5th seat gets the rest of the bus.
Yeah, I'd like to, if we have, Mr. Strobel is not here this month, but next month, when he's here, maybe we could, if you're just starting to get that process, since we've come back from the holidays, of getting, data about like the repeat offenders and how many write-ups that different kids have had and stuff like that. Maybe next month we can have a follow-up to see if there have at least been some meetings with their parents or whatever the process that we would normally do is, that we're moving forward with it. I'll have him, listen to your report on follow-up if that works. Okay.
And one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
If there is punishment or whatever was done to create the problem, we would like to see that.
Yeah.
If
No, I get that.
Because we can relay that to the driver, and then they think they're satisfied with something's being done then. If
Yeah, and
we hear nothing, we don't think anything is being done.
Right. Is that something that we are capable of doing that follow through once we?
Yes.
Yeah. We want I know that drivers have to be thinking about like 20 different things at once, but I would like it if most of their attention was on the road and not what's going on behind them,
us
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to punish these kids, we have to show video? I mean,
In order for the kids to have consequences.
Well, I agree with you.
No, just don't use the word punish.
But if someone told me that my kid was behaving wrong on the bus, I wouldn't be thinking about where's the video.
Yeah.
I would
You're the
imagine there's some
exception to
parents
the
that would
rule.
do that.
Does it help if a parent contacts the school? Because I've contacted them and I've seen kids chucking water bottles all over the
I don't
bus.
know.
And the principal has told me she's ridden the bus, she's tried, but it doesn't.
It's.
You have at least parents for it as well, somebody, and
Well, I think all you need to do is have a couple kids kicked off, and then the word's going to go around that maybe you should actually, because they have no consequence now, so it's.
I agree. Does that fall back on I don't mean like this, administration, but like the schools? So like the principal, I can remember Mike, but
Building administrators handle.
that's what I meant, that's what I wasn't reading that, but yeah. Okay.
All right. So we'll see if we can make some forward progress on that by next meeting. Any other questions? Well, no. Yeah.
Will the RFP be mailed out or emailed?
That is not my emailed out, mailed out.
Well, I believe.
We'll make sure you get a copy of it.
That'd be super.
Yeah, typically it's posted to the website.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the website, but you all got the email in the past. We know the carriers, there's many carriers that we don't get email addresses. You'll definitely get it that way. Okay?
All right.
Okay. Any snow removal, I guess?
We've had a few storms here in January. Halter Landscaping, they've done an excellent job with their snow removal services here at the Dana Boone Area School District. They've been very accommodating in ensuring safe conditions for the students and in support of our community and athletic events. In addition to that, with, you know, some of our closures and holidays, I would like to kind of give a shout out to SSC, who has done a good job. I know our COVID numbers were up. They've done a great job in performing some detailed disinfecting, cleaning, taking advantage of downtime in the buildings.
Now, if I remember correctly, last year we didn't have a lot of snow. Is my memory correct on that?
No, we did. It was the year before.
Oh, it was the year before that wasn't a lot of snow. How's our snow removal budget doing? I know we have to find the money if we do, if we don't have it, but
Right now, we are probably around 100,000.
okay. I guess the way it's been recently, it's been more like, you know, salting, I guess, with everything like melting and freezing.
It's been a combination,
Yeah.
between the multiple storms that we've had in the month of January.
Right.
We've had a lot of wind, so that has created a lot of drifting at the intermediate center, at the middle school, a little bit here at the high school campus. We've had a lot of refreezing. They've been doing an excellent job.
Yeah, okay. And I guess that brings us to the end of our program. Anybody have any comments, questions, concerns? Any further comments from the public? I appreciate your input on the busing issues when they were, as you know, this is a little bit more of an informal situation than the regular meeting, so I appreciate you guys being here. You have any other comments, questions, concerns today? Okay. All right, that brings it to the end. Thank you, everybody, for coming.